Have you ever heard of Henry Louis Gehrig? He was one of the greatest baseball players of all time. However, he was forced to permanently retire from the game. Listen in and you will find out why. Gehrig was born in New York City on June 19, 1903. He attended Columbia University on a football scholarship. That's right, a football scholarship, not baseball. He was there studying engineering. Louis played fullback in football. Eventually, the New York Giants baseball team convinced him to come to a tryout, in which the coach told him he wasn't good enough, and he instead landed in a minor league called the Hartford Senators. On May 19, 1923, Gehrig pitched a three-hitter and blasted his final college home run, the longest in Columbia history. A Yankees scout found him and asked him to play for their team. Henry Louis Gehrig played baseball for 17 years at the Yankees. He played alongside the famous Babe Ruth. Together, they formed one of the best baseball offensive duos of all time. Henry had 493 home runs and the record for the most grand slams in a career. He was persistent too, because he established a record for the most played consecutive games, 2,130 baseball games in a row. This won him the nickname Iron Horse. He was nicknamed the Iron Horse because of how durable and persistent Gehrig truly was. On June 19, 1939, Louis Gehrig was diagnosed with ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, better known as the Louis Gehrig disease. Due to this disease, Gehrig started to lose strength on the field. He slipped and fell and lost coordination every game. ALS affects voluntary control of arms and legs and leads to trouble breathing. Soon after, Gehrig decided to retire from the game because of this condition. On July 4th, 1939, Louis Gehrig announced his retirement. He announced it with a speech, the Farewell to Baseball Address, or better known as the Luckiest Man speech. Despite his terrible disease, Louis Gehrig wrote this speech to show the audience that he was retiring from baseball, but he was honored to have played for those 17 years. Gehrig always looked on the bright side. In his speech, he even says, "When the New York Giants, a team you would give your right arm to beat, and vice versa, sends you a gift, that's something. When everybody down to the groundskeepers and those boys in the white coats remember you with trophies, that's something." And he goes on and on about this. Babe Ruth and Louis Gehrig had a bit of a feud when they were playing baseball together. I think Babe was a little overly competitive and said some things he shouldn't have. He said, "I think Lou's making one of the worst mistakes a ball player can make by trying to keep up with this Iron Man stuff," Ruth told the Associated Press in January 1937. However, after Louis got diagnosed with ALS, Babe Ruth seemed to forgive him instantly and appealed the feud. Henry Louis Gehrig died on June 2, 1941, less than 2 years after he gave the speech about his retirement. When Ruth found out that Gehrig died, he broke down. No, this is terrible, terrible news. It can't be true," he said. "I knew how ill Lou was, but I think all of us hoped, even against hope, that he would fight his way out." Louis's death was a very sad day indeed. So sad that they decided to make the day that he died, June 2nd, Louis Gehrig Day. My favorite part of Gehrig's speech was when he said, "Yet today, I consider myself to be the luckiest man on the face of the earth." It really shows his character. My biggest takeaway from this whole speech was that Louis was a very honorable man who was very optimistic despite having to retire. He looked on the bright side, and I truly feel that we can all benefit from what Henry Louis Gehrig had to say.